All right, guys, I'm live again. Let's see if this works this time. I tried to invite my guest, but it just didn't work. Oh, hi. There you are, Andrew. Okay, let's see. Andrew joined. View request. Hey, what's going on, Robbie? How you doing, man? What's up, bud? Nice to see you. Hi, Katie. Let's see if we can. Sure. Doing it for you, man. Doing it for you. It's for the people. It's for the kids.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's on.
There we go, man. Finally. That took a little while, bro.
Hey, you know what? No worries, but the fact that we got it now, that's what matters.
That's right. That's right. Senzo, hey, what's going on? Mama D, hi. Andy G,
Oh,
what's up? Jack Attack, yes, sir. All will die. Yeah. So we're here, man.
we
We're
are here.
live, bro. Yes, finally.
Right.
I have so much to learn about software and even the hardware, just setting all this stuff up to make it work, man. Like, man. Oh, I'm not sure if you work with OBS or not, but I need to learn a little more. Need to watch a couple more YouTube videos.
So I'm gonna tell you this.
Yeah.
Everything I do from when I started to now, people are like, "Oh, what's your setup? What computer?" I have a phone. Apparently, you can't do OBS, so I have a floating browser. And I'm just sharing my screen with the camera and the little floating browser window on there. And that's my OBS. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it actually works like that.
The floating browser.
Yeah. You got to work with what you got. That's how this all started, coming back from a construction background. I applied my knowledge. I didn't go to art school. I didn't get a formal education like that because I was very career oriented. I wanted to provide for my loved ones. And,
Totally.
I wanted to work as young as I can. When I was younger, I'd lie about my age to get on the job sites. But yeah, just using what you got, using what you know, and making the absolute most of it. That's what's always worked.
Totally, man. Definitely. That's awesome. And I love that you have your artwork up there. I was going to set it up on my computer so that I can like, share my screen and things like that, but I don't need to do that because your art's right there, man.
Right?
Um,
Dramatic
could
pan.
Yeah, could you maybe, yeah, I want to check the Bob Marley one because that looks sick, bro. Looks so cool.
So the lighting is of course it always okay, there we go. Got it. I don't know what happened. Okay, there we go. So this is the type of work I do.
Yeah.
It looks like stone, but it's actually made of styrofoam. It's lightweight.
Oh,
So I can do
okay.
this. I'm not really strong, not at all. I just work with a lightweight medium. And that's what I do. That's what I've done since 2013 with my dad. And, we've done it together, depending on lifestyles. We've done it independently. He'll be like, hey, I'm working this month. All right, I'm going to go over here. Hey, I got these orders, and it's been beautiful. It's been a great opportunity.
It's just fantastic. It's amazing. I'm just like awestruck when I see your artwork, man. I've never seen this medium before. How did you come up with it? Like, and do you have an artist background? Do you have an art background whatsoever? Because that's just superb. What can you tell me?
So the way it goes is like this. About, well, now it's going to be, what is it, 31 years ago. But when we started this, 20 years before that, my dad, who also worked in construction, it was his lunch break. There was some scrap materials, and we decided to get artistic with it. We've always done washes on walls. People love it. We give texture, we give colors. Sometimes you'll see it in really like fancy places. They got the crown molding and they got the wash on the wall. It adds a nice texture. And he spent his lunch break. He made this. He was really proud of it, and he showed it to his boss slash dad because he used to work with his dad. And he picked it up real quick, and hey, yo pensé es pierda, and he tossed it. I thought it was stone, and he got mad because he thought it was gonna be heavy, so he lifted it up, and it didn't work. And so my dad, he's like, well, easy come, easy go. He dropped it, grabbed the hammer, kept on working, and that was the inspiration, the skills of construction, the skills of what we know ourselves, because he's always been super artistically inclined, similar to myself.
Mm.
But this medium, it was totally new. We hadn't seen it anywhere. There was no manuals, there was no videos on how to do it. There was nothing.
Wow.
And from there, yes, like 20 years later, my brother was born premature. He was born 2 pounds and change. He was a preemie. So
Mhm.
my family was at the hospital for 3 months. Every 3 hours, we relocated there, and it was pretty rough.
Yeah.
My dad and I, at the time, we were working construction. We had a really good construction company operating and managing. Worst thing that would happen is you end up with some guys hungover. So, all right, you either go home or you sit on the bucket of shame until you sober up. Being so young, I had to be a bit more rough around the edges to command respect. As a kid walking around these guys who've been, doing work professionally 20, 30 years, yeah, I had to be rough around the edges to get that respect. So I had a bucket of shame. I called it. It was a bucket in the corner. They'd sit on it. and that was it. If they did something stupid, if they did something, very dangerous to them, very dangerous to the client. And
Kind of like a
we couldn't,
timeout.
yeah, basically a timeout. And we
Dunce
couldn't
cap.
be showing up to the hospital. Oh, go
A
ahead.
dunce cap.
There you go, like a dunce cap, except you sit on
Yeah. But you couldn't what were you saying?
it. And we couldn't be showing up to the hospital covered in insulation, fiberglass, reeking like oil base, covered in wood shavings, metal filaments, all of this stuff.
Mhm.
Because we would go into the neonatal intensive care unit, have to scrub up oxygen tanks, everything. Because, for my brother, every day it was a matter of life or death. We didn't know if he was going to pull through it. So my family and I, we were there. We made every day worth it, every 3 hours, every single dedication. And now he's awesome. Oh my gosh, he's 11 now. We celebrated his birthday a bit back. He kicks my butt in Fortnite. I tried to learn Fortnite from him. That's the popular thing for the kids. I can't do it. I like Centipede. I like Mario 64. I like the old school games, but he's awesome. He's strong. He's like, oh, I want to grow up to be a streamer before I became a streamer. So I'm like, you can actually do it. I would have told you give up on it because it's unrealistic, but apparently it works.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's really cool. I love the energy that you bring to your art and to your streams. It's just peace, love, enthusiasm. Ooh, gotta love it, man. Yeah, that's what you're all about. That's awesome. Uh, where does that come from? Where does all of that peace and love and good vibes come from?
You know what? It's easy to be mad. It's easy to get annoyed. It's easy to not have patience. It's easy to lash out. It's easy to want to blame. It's easy to want to do all this stuff that comes naturally.
Yeah.
But that's not what the world needs. Being able to make somebody smile, being able to help somebody broken down on the side of the road and push their car to the nearest gas station, being able to, pull the dog out of a canal. I live with near a lot of canals, and sometimes animals go in there being like, well, these are nice pants, I'll wash them, jump in, throw the dog on the shoulder, just trying to do good with the time I got on this earth. And it's
That's right.
ironic because the platform I'm on, Twitch, it's normally towards gaming, and a stereotype of gamers is getting really angry, breaking their controllers, breaking their TV, yelling, raging out. It's like, whoa, I don't want to, I don't want to spread those vibes. I want to make people smile. I want to make them happy.
Hmm.
I always love doing that. And now it's at a size of platform I could never have comprehended. I don't keep up like, oh man, get this number, guys, like subscribe anything. But last I checked, there's like 207,000 people, followers on Twitch. There's like 86,000 on YouTube. There's 96,000 on Instagram. It's crazy, and it's been a lot of positive response. Hey, Andrew, whenever you come on, especially if I'm having a rough day, you make me smile by being goofy, by being the kind of crazy you are. You know that people love. People just love that. I don't take things too seriously. Sometimes I'll be covering my glass and I'll be like, yeah, a lot of people they don't take me seriously, and especially if I become a bit of a personality. It's gotten worse. And I'm like, I'm kidding. I don't even take myself seriously, guys. I just want to make people happy. But if you smile.
That's really cool. That's awesome. So you do the art 100% of the time. Is there any one piece that somebody asks you to do that stands out for a specific reason?
So there's two for that question. There's one personally with one close to me and one for generally. I do a lot of memorial portraits. A lot of people, a lot of different ages. And like I tell everybody, I'm staring at an art piece 10, 11, 12, so many hours. I see the photo, I
Wow.
draw the photo digitally, I draw the photo on the medium, I burn it, I paint it,
Mm.
and it becomes a face I never forget. Even though I don't know that person personally, they become, something that's in my life. The other day I went to a home. I was invited by a friend of a friend, and so on. And I look at the art piece and I'm like, oh wow. It was an art piece I had done 10 years before, a portrait of a grandmother, Amo de mi vida,
Mm.
the love of my life.
Mhm.
And the person saw me and they're like, oh my gosh, you're the person that did this. And, 10 years hanging on the wall, somebody sees it every day. And I always even say that in streams. People are like, hey, do you get bored? Do you get tired? Do you get frustrated? And I'm like, you know what? It takes a lot of patience. But whether I spend 10 hours or 15 hours on a piece, however long it takes me, people keep these pieces for years and a decade now, and probably going to be around a lot longer than I am. So I put my everything into every single piece I do.
Mhm. That's fantastic, man. So, like, this is the Thrive Show. This is a podcast that I'm doing. We're on here talking live. It's great to be here, and that's what we're all about. We're all about positivity, all about thriving in life and being conscious and aware of yourself, and knowing that okay, we are human. We do have these emotions. We have anger. We have fear. We have distrust. All this type of stuff. But you recognizing that, and then you kind of switching it over and transmuting that type of thing and making it into peace and love and is truly inspiring. um, Anything about your upbringing that has made you into the person that you are?
Oh, 100%. My family, whether we've had abundance or whether we were living in a half burned down house that burned down in winter, nobody wanted to help. My dad fixing it up, us, whatever. We've had highs and we've had lows, but it's always been a high together, with the love. My mom, my dad, and me for 15 years, it was us against the world. And then some more siblings came out when I was 15. I got a brother. And then when I was 17, I got another brother and a sister. And from the youngest one to me now, there's a 23-year age gap. And it's beautiful. That togetherness, that being in the world and knowing that I would do anything for this person. Because a lot of the times we hear, oh, I would die for this person. And that's great, that's beautiful. But what's even more important is I would live for this person.
Mhm. Wow.
That togetherness, that I know anything in the world, yeah, that I love them. So they taught me love, teaching
Mhm.
compassion too, places I grew up, places I hung out as a kid and teenager. A lot of people were like, oh man, that side of town and oh, that neighborhood and this barrio and that over there. And, but, you come to learn everybody's people and
Mhm.
you'll find trouble if you go looking for trouble. But if you don't go looking for it, just find people living their lives. None of us are born knowing what to do. As we get older, we like to think that we're wiser. Sometimes, though, age doesn't necessarily convert to wisdom, but well, just people trying to make it in this world. It
That's
can be
right.
nice to help someone out.
That's right. That's fantastic. Yeah, I grew up in a big family. My immediate family wasn't big, but a lot of cousins on,
Oh
a
yeah,
couple different sides of the family, and we, all have holidays together and celebrate the wins and the difficult times too. And being able to, in any stage in your life, connect with somebody who is a kid or an adult or one of our elders
yeah.
is something that's super important to maintain that connection and that bond. Do you come from it? So you come from a big family then? Do you have also a lot of cousins too? And
It was small for the longest time,
Mhm.
and a lot of cousins, a lot of extended relatives, but in mind, some of them, for whatever reason, you know how it can be with family, whether it's been robbing or stealing or lying or trying to break up this and that. The extended family, we've shown nothing but love to them, and
Mhm.
if they're ever in a rough situation, we'll help them out. But
Yeah.
we've have been, I don't want to say taken advantage of, because that's a pretty rough word, but that's putting it nicely. So I'll go with that, Again, it's things are tough all over, but we got to try to minimize what we take from others or what we push down to lift ourselves up. We got to lift up everybody with us.
Completely. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a very good point. There's family members that they just maybe they've had issues figuring it out, I mean, it's not because they are bad people or bad souls. It's just the situations that they've been in. It's the sometimes epigenetic things that get passed down to them that they can't help. So it's nice to have compassion for those type of people. Although you can keep a healthy distance from them,
Yeah,
and yeah, that's definitely something real, man. Yeah.
yeah. It's like one of Aesop's fables. There's a frog and a scorpion. The scorpion asks the frog, there's this river. Can I be on your back so we can cross it? And the frog is like, dude, you're gonna sting me, man. You're gonna sting me. You're a scorpion. The scorpion's like, I'm not gonna though. Because if I sting you while you're swimming across the river, we're both gonna drown. The frog thinks about this and he's like, well, he's got a good point. So the frog lets the scorpion on his back start swimming, and halfway across the river, feels a sudden searing, burning pain. The frog asks, why'd you do this? Now we're both going to drown. And the scorpion says, it's in my nature to do it.
Mm.
But a
Mm.
lot of people have scorpions as pets, so you can love anyone, just be careful with them.
Hmm. Hmm.
We got all kinds of pet shoots. The kiddos, they got water dragons and some frill dragons and all kinds of creatures. We can love and we can keep close. We just got to make sure we do it without endangering ourselves or the ones that we want to love and protect.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, and that's a showing of self love too. That's something that that you have to take care of yourself first, love yourself first, take care of yourself first, so that you can share what spilleth over with
You got to
others.
understand yourself too. Like, especially, I got a reputation that nobody can argue with me. And it's not because, like, oh, I don't want to hear it. Oh, it's because this. Oh, it's because that. It's because even if somebody has a difference of opinion, or even if they're taking something out on me, I'll be like in my head, wow, this person cares for me. And whatever they're going through is so bad that it's causing them to lash out even towards me. So I'll try to understand them. I'll try to help them. And, you know, so quick we are to respond, we're to take offense, we're to
Mm.
do this or that. But I've always had the idea like, I want to understand. You got a different position of what you believe? Educate me. Maybe you've seen something I haven't seen. Maybe I could learn something, get a more well rounded perception of life.
That's right. You got it,
Yeah.
man. So I want to know, and I'm sure your audience wants to know too. what is next for Andrew Physiques? What is next for your company? What is next for you as a person? Anything planned? Anything that you're looking forward to?
Well, aside every single new day, I get to wake up and stand on my two legs. I've been doing a lot of international shipping now. This used to always
Oh,
be local. We used to only be able to get it in El Paso, and if somebody wanted it, they would need to send somebody to pick it up, or we had a distributor in Dallas, one in Seattle. But, being online, having people from everywhere around the world being like, hey, I love this piece. Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? I'm like, you know what? Okay. So that's been the newest one. The whole international orders I've shipped out, of course, to Mexico. I'm right here to
yeah,
Mexico, but to
right.
the UK, to Germany, to Switzerland, to all these places. Crazy.
That's fantastic.
The It's beautiful. The next thing now that I'm doing is working with people because I would turn down sponsorships. I'm like, oh, I'll turn that down. I'll turn that down. No, I don't want to sell the channel. No, money's awesome, but give it to somebody who could benefit from it more. I'm just running it. And then they reached out to me. They're like, hey, we know how you are, Andrew. And I'm like, okay, great way to start a conversation. I'm with you so far. You know what you're getting into. Please continue. They've been like, just do how you are, do how you see fit. We'll try it out. You're not the normal kind of individual that we use. I'm not like try Rage Shadow Legends. I'm like, okay, but earbuds. But it's been working pretty well, and that's one thing. You saw I was messing around. I'm not trying to plug or anything, but like, even with what I do, I always do a twist on it. I got something with HelloFresh, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be HelloFreshing like this and this and that. Like I see, because I skip those ads. So I'm like, I'm gonna do an art piece,
Right.
and that's gonna
Yeah.
be my way of doing it. That's gonna be my style. I'm gonna do things my way. If people like them, that's awesome. I'm glad. And if they don't like them, there's a lot of amazing, fantastically talented other individuals everywhere that I'm sure they'd love. You know?
Oh man, I have to say I'm plant-based and I love HelloFresh. HelloFresh is amazing. So good. It's
I'm excited. I've never tried it
it
before, but I'm super stoked.
it's really nice to not need to cut up everything, right? And to just throw all the ingredients together, have it ready to go, throw it in the oven or what have you. And yeah, yeah, it's fun. And they're like cuisine meals. It's super special. Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Dude, I'm excited. That sounds pretty fun.
I'm sure you're gonna get some samples, right? They're gonna send you some.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna do a cooking stream. I'm pretty excited. I've done cooking streams in the past.
Oh
I'd
wow.
love to make some gourmet dishes, and they're gonna send it, and they're like, and even with that, they're like, we'll give you an incentive if you do a cooking stream. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, shoot, doing it my way, that's awesome. I don't want to be like, oh, this or all that, anything like that. I want to just be me, and if people want to hop on it, then you know what? Shoot, why not?
Right.
But just be warned, I'm not gonna get what's normally guaranteed. You might have things unconventionally, might work, might not, but I'm not gonna compromise my morals or
Yeah.
compromise the people. I never ever, and you can go through the countless hours of footage, but I've never told anybody, hey guys, like and subscribe or donate to Patreon or anything like that. Because if they're gonna, they're gonna. But it's not my position to put that pressure on them.
Yeah.
I know I don't like that. I know I disabled all the ads on my channels. So nobody gets ads when they're watching. They're like, but what about the ad revenue? Because I had it set up at first. I didn't know how to work anything at all on Twitch. I barely know some now. All new platform, and there'd be ads, there'd be commercials every few minutes in a roll and anything. And I'm like, hey guys, I don't know how to get rid of the commercials, but any and all proceeds that come from that, I'm investing right back into the community.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I've done videos where I just fill up a shopping cart full of snacks to make somebody's day brighter, give them away. or invest in this or invest in that. I figured out how to turn the ads off though. So I told everybody, well, you know what this means. Now it'll be out of pocket. I'm still gonna do good, but now nobody's gonna worry about commercials. No unskippable ads. I'm
That's pretty sweet. So how do you reinvest it back into the community?
So I love working directly with people. There's a lot of wonderful organizations and charities, but why not start close to home?
Oh.
Start with the people you see every day on the street. One that I especially like to do is I'll go to a Greyhound station downtown. Here in El Paso, we get a lot of individuals from Mexico. We get a lot of individuals from El Paso going to California, going back and I mean, I've taken it plenty of times. And you personally know, if you're taking a Greyhound, there's a reason why you're not taking a plane. There's a reason, whatever. It's a long, grueling trip,
Yeah.
so there's a reason. And I love to buy toys and buy snacks and waters and everything. And I'll be like, whatever anybody wants, take it. I won't record, though. That's the thing. People have said, you should record, you should do this. And I'm like, nah, because it's beautiful, but like, if I was in that position and there was a camera all in my face, I'd be like hesitant.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, take a treat. There's some water, some toys. And sometimes I feel bad though, because some of the toys I get are noisy, and the parents that are there, it was so funny because I wasn't sure if they were the grandparents, the aunts, the uncle. They were waiting at the Greyhound, and they had a little girl there. And it was a hot day. It was outside, and I'm like, oh man. I was on my skateboard just going around downtown doing good deeds. So I took everybody like, come on, let's go to the store. And I got a top and I got a matraca, which is just basically a noisemaker. And I always ask the parents first, hey, I'm not recording, camera's over here. I wanted to know if I could give this your kid, just for fun. And they're like, why? And I'm like, just do it. I got kids that I'm close to at home, and everything. Oh, little girl lit up. Parents were so happy, gave some water, gave some snacks. And then she started making noise with it and didn't stop. And I saw the parents like happy, but at the same time, like, I know I'm going to hear this for the next 3 hours. uh,
That's great. But you gave him that moment of joy, that moment of love
that's what I
shared
like to
with
do.
somebody else that they didn't know. And I think that's so important to share that and to be that love. And you just have a heart of gold, brother. Holy smokes. That is
And
beautiful, man.
a popular one too. It's always fun.
Yeah.
I call it unofficial community service. It's an ongoing series. The first one I did, there's a Pollard skate ditch. Beautiful, It's in a neighborhood, a lot of whatever this, whatever that. And it was overgrown with every single crack, just weeds, garbage, dirt, and it used to be beautiful, but people stopped going to it. Obviously you can't skate in it. The whole point is to skate, but there was rocks and everything.
Yeah.
So I got a 2-inch spatula from the Dollar Tree because I'm like, well, anybody can do this. It's $2. I got a spatula. I found a bucket, and on 3 different days, each one was around a 6-hour shift, just cutting all the weeds. I moved a few literal metric tons of dirt. I did the numbers like, well, if one 5-gallon bucket weighs around 40 pounds and I moved 100 buckets, that's 4,000 pounds. Just scraping. And people would ask what you doing, and I'm like, just cleaning this place up. They're like,
Yeah.
why? I'm like, just dab. And I got a bucket with snacks if you want. You want some chips, want some water, And it was fantastic because I've always been a skater. I've always loved it. At skate parks, you get every single type. You get the kids that got parents that got a lot of money but not a lot of time, so they buy them the best skateboard and then they drop them off. They got to go to work. You get kids that have nothing and they manage to get a skateboard given to them. You got kids from hand-me-down. You got adults. You got people that almost went pro and then something happened in their life. You got people that have struggled with addiction, everything. Skate parks, everybody's on equal, unstable footing. And, when you do concrete diving, it really humbles you. That's literally rock bottom. You can't have pride, you can't have ego.
Mm.
And it's nice because that skate ditch, after I cleaned it up, a lot of people started using it again. A lot of kids were going there. The night I was there, the second night, there were some parents walking past, kids were scooting, and they're like, "Ya estás limpio?" It's clean already. They took the kids in swimming in there. I taught some young gentlemen, I think like 17 and 19. First day ever they were on skateboards. They got them from the pawn shop. I gave them a little lesson, like, here's how you do this, here's how you do that. And, it keeps kids out of trouble. Keeps adults out of trouble. Something to do, something constructive, and something that builds character. Humility and humbleness is so important to the thing.
Mm. Mm. Man, that's fantastic, bro. Have you heard of Lupe Fiasco before?
Not enough to act like I know enough about it. Please
Yeah.
elucidate.
I just kind of started to listen to him too a little bit. I know he had a really big hit back in the day, like in maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago. But he's got a song called "Kick Push," and I think it's a pretty cool,
Oh, that's
yeah, song about skating. Yeah, it's chill,
nice.
it's relaxed. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's a beautiful story, bro.
I'm
Um,
to
and I'm
them.
sure
It's
you have a
popular.
few of those.
I do unofficial community food bank,
Yeah.
unofficial community service, food bank ninja. So I'll go to a food bank, especially like if it's rainy or whatever, and at the food banks you get a lot of elderly people.
Yeah.
Like a lot. They're on pension, they're on fixed income. They'll go there, and it's during the day when anybody else who's working is working. And it's beautiful to get a lot of food, but 40, 50-pound containers, having to walk them a few hundred feet to their car. It's a blessing, but transporting it, nobody can help them. So the
Mm,
last time I remember, it was coming down, raining like crazy.
mm.
And I'm just like,
Like it does in
so
El
I've been
Paso.
there for a couple hours just loading up. Donde queda? Ay, gracias, mijo. Get it. No, I don't want nothing. No money, no thanks, no whatever. Just there you go. I'm moving on to the next one, running back and forth. The people who saw me at the food bank, they were like, why are you doing that? And I'm like,
Yeah.
why are you doing that? They're like, oh, that's a good point. And I'm like, exactly. Just been good. They're like,
Mhm.
well, would you want to volunteer here? Would you want to do that? And I'm like, you guys seem covered, but there's nobody helping these people move into their vehicles. And you get all types. You get the people that are thankful. You get the people that want to be like, hand you $1. And I'm like, nah, that's good. You get the people that of all types, and it's beautiful. That's the type of stuff I love to do. I don't normally record it. Like I said, that in the face, but dude, I don't need to. As long as I know I'm doing a little good in the world, that's the best part.
Yeah. 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 Giving is so important because when you give, it helps one person, but then it
Yes.
also helps you at the same time. And when you give, when you do different things like this for the community, for one person, for an individual, many individuals, that one individual they'll be impacted for the rest of the day, for the rest of their lives. Then it spreads to somebody else, and they do something like that to somebody else, and that other person does something like that to somebody else. And as you said, it kind of spreads and metastasizes in a really, really good way, spreading
Like
love,
a
peace, and
nuclear
joy.
reactor. Just chain reaction until the whole world is just burning with good vibes.
Oh man, I feel that, brother. I feel that. That's awesome. Well, shoot, I think I got to get going, man. I think I'm gonna go have some dinner and stuff like that with the fam. Um, that's awesome, dude. I don't think I can do that like how
Almost,
you do
right?
it.
You gotta center your head and then you move.
My head always
Almost.
wants to
You
move.
got you got more of that kind of staying alive, staying alive,
Huh? Huh? Huh?
staying alive. There you go. And that's literally what I do for hours and hours while I'm working. People will hop on the streams, and I'm like, you guys still gotta be here. Don't feel obligated. They're like, no, it's so fun, you know. Slap you on the TV. I'm like, I'm on a TV. There's one gentleman who's a higher up in a Fortune 500 company, and like if I come on in the morning, he'll put me on while everybody's at the wooden table, and I'll be like, you're wasting people's time. You should be working it. And they're like, no, no, it gets the team going. I'm like, all right.
Even in a corporate world, man, yeah, they need it more than anybody. You know, they need that break, that freedom, that soul that you bring. That's great, brother.
That, thank God, I'm not that guy. I'll enjoy watching, but good Lord, he's so chaotic.
Awesome, brother. Well, shoot, it was nice connecting with you. This went awesome. And thanks for coming on to the podcast, to the show, and hanging out with me for a little while. It's been a blessing to be in your aura.
Hey, much appreciation, my friend.
Yeah. All right, Andrew Physiques, take care, brother. So
Anytime.
long. Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, there we go.
All right. Maybe we could do this again sometime, man. It was too much
Yeah,
fun.
most definitely. Much
Uh,
love, man.
much
And of
love.
course, peace. And oh, look, there's people popping up. Oh, these are people I know. Katie,
Yeah.
Manny, Mustang, Chubby, dude. Oh, snap. They're
Sensei,
finally cross-platform. You guys finally.
Maximilian, lovely. Sebastian, Sky. Yeah, Sky Knight Funko. What's going on?
Woo.
Woohoo! All right, guys.
Hey, Sensei Smelly, you're good. You're on the other platform.
Cunningham,
uh,
Charlotte's Bites.
right.
Yes, yes, yes. Yuri. Oh, there we go. We got one of these.
Oh, Sensei Smelly.
Uh,
Oh, shoot, they've been around for a long time, man. These people, they pop up on different platforms. They're from Twitch, they're from Instagram, and it's cool to see familiar faces on totally different things.
Fantastic, man. All right. Have a good night, brother. Talk to you soon.
Sir, peace,
Peace and
love,
love and
and
happiness.
tools that come with it.
That's all right. All right. Take care now.